Hey guys, today we're taking a look at Final Faction Series 2A. The creators of Final Faction have let us know via social media that Series 2 will be split into two waves. 2A is what you see here. This was released in late 2021. 2B will be releasing in spring of 2022. And 2B looks to be an additional 6 figures, 8 weapons packs, and an additional vehicle for the Karn enemy, as well as their first print comic. So lots more coming in 2022, but for now, let's take a look at these guys. So first up we have Scope, looking very much like Tony Stark in his shades and mustache and goatee. Scope comes packed with a rifle, 2 handguns, and a backpack. He's got his file card on the back there, all his specs. He's a long-range specialist, so pretty much a sniper. Next we have Torn, whose specialty is covert ops. He comes packed with a handgun, 2 knives, and a detachable hood. And according to his write-up on the back, he's not part of Alpha Team. He's a mysterious ally that comes to aid them when needed. And the last figure in this wave is Churro. I think this is going to be everyone's favorite figure from this wave. Churro is the little Chihuahua, and he pilots this robot called the FDO mech, basically Fido. Churro can fit in his cockpit in there. And according to his write-up on the back, Churro is the best friend of Steadfast from Series 1. And no other accessories in here except for Churro and the mech. So for the first vehicle in the Final Faction line, we have the Arrow ATV. So this is pretty much a bare bones vehicle. And the specs are on the back there, and it shows you the armor and weapons that we'll look at in a minute. But it's still pretty cool to get a vehicle for $1. And lastly, we have the weapons and armor pack for the Arrow ATV. So this kind of fills out the vehicle, makes it look more complete. So let's get all this stuff open. So here we are out of the package. Scope definitely looking like Iron Man. We had Steel from Series 1 that looked just like the Falcon. And now we have this guy looking like Tony Stark. He has got holsters molded into both legs to hold his sidearms. And his backpack has a plug in it to keep his long-range weapon. So that is a really nice touch for a $1 figure. Torn has these 2 knives that attach to his wrists and flip out for combat. And he also has a holster for his sidearm. Now when I took him out of the package, that sidearm fit very loosely in that holster, so I just used the old hot and cold water trick to heat that up, bend it in a little, and set it in place, and now that's staying just fine. His hood just kind of sits on his head, but he has a feature that is not explained on the package. Torn has 2 faces. And there's no explanation for that in his bio. It seems like maybe he has some alien DNA in him. So that's kind of a neat feature. It reminds me of the old Adam Power from Power Lords with the 2 faces. And here we have Churro. He's got his FDO designation molded into the shoulders. Arms and legs move, head turns. His tail is very flexible, so it's not going to break off. Churro himself, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, but he's got his name molded into his harness. It says Churro on there, which is kind of neat. And he's got that handle on him. I assume that's to make it easier to get him out of the mech once he's in there. Now the first time I put him in the mech, I put him face first, which would make sense. Problem is that his ears are a little wider than this opening. So once I had him in there, I had a hell of a time getting him out. He kind of got stuck. So even though it looks silly, you might want to put Churro ass backwards in the mech. Just pretend he's got a heads-up display in the rear end to pilot with. And just like Series 1, each of these figures is 5 POA, hips, shoulders, and neck. Now something you're going to want to grab for Churro is the Air Assault weapons pack from Series 1. And as far as I can tell, Series 1 is still readily available. They haven't discontinued or retired anything yet, so you should be able to get one of these. The Air Assault pack is going to allow you to trick out Churro with wings and guns. Give him flight capability and some firepower. And here's what the Arrow ATV and the add-on pack look like out of the box. So it's a kit. They do have some fully illustrated instructions for assembly for the ATV, and then a separate sheet to show you how to attach the weapons. So let's get this assembled and see what it looks like. So here's your fully assembled Arrow ATV with armor and weapons for the hefty sum of $2. Very minimal paint applications, just the headlights and the running lights up the top there. It's a pretty solid vehicle. The only part that's a bit loose is this front bumper. It's only held on with a couple of clips like that, so it does tend to fall off while you're playing with it. So you may want to attach that front bumper with some plastic weld or JB weld or something like that. It rolls really nicely. The guns swivel. And it seats one figure in the seat, and it's got some peg holes to stand another figure up in the back. So here we have the vehicle with figures. We have Shift from Series 1 driving, and she's able to grasp that steering column with both hands, no problem. Scope in the back, he's got both his feet on the pegs, and he's able to grasp those guns with no issue. So if you're wondering if this vehicle is compatible with figures from other lines, there's G.I. Joe Retro Collection Duke, Marvel 3 3/4 inch Retro Series Captain America, Super 7's Reaction RoboCop, Star Wars Retro Collection Cara Dune, and Spin Masters Batman. Unfortunately, I was not able to fit any figures from other lines onto these peg holes in the back of the vehicle. Reason being that they're a different size. The Final Faction peg holes in the feet are wider than what you see standard on Hasbro and other products, and they're also in a different position. They're closer to the toes on the Final Faction rather than the heels in other figures. So even if these pegs fit, the front of the feet would crash into that bar before you would be able to get the holes inside the pegs. So something to keep in mind when you're thinking about customizing those. So that's it for Final Faction Series 2A. Definitely a line worth checking out for the price of just $1 per figure. Very easy to army build at that price, and lots of customizing options for a low cost. And if you guys are interested in learning about the Series 1 figures, Retroblasting did a great video on them some months ago, and I will link to that video in the description. Go check it out. And that's it. Thanks. See you guys next time.